welcome all to the booze.
Hey.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome to the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. I'm your co-host Ween,
I'm Ray.
and we watch and review horror movies so you don't have to.
Can you tell that we're a little tired today?
A little low energy. Sorry. Beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep. Try to pump it up. Pump up the jam. Pump it up.
Pump it up with do desire. Pump it up. That's my
I'm
problem.
feeling good vibration.
I find that I'm what's his name? Bill Murray on Saturday Night Live, where he played that lounge club singer. He knows
Yeah.
a few lines from a song and that's it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
even
that's
then I'm
me.
like, I get a couple words, then I'm like, I don't know how this phrase
I don't
ends.
know.
No, I know how the beat goes.
Come on. Feel it.
Feel it. Oh, I had Wahlburgers on the other day,
Did
and
you?
yeah, I was on because it was like I forgot something was on before it. I think I might have. Oh, it was Treehouse of Terror. FXX had all of them on, and so I just let it run in the background. And I was like, "What is this god awful show?" And then there was Donnie, and there was Mark, and they're all
Mac.
and all the brothers like Pete. I don't know. There's a whole bunch. There's like 17 of them. I don't know.
Oh
There's a
my
whole
gosh, I know. All boys. Yeah,
yeah.
yikes.
Yeah, they're going to Fedway. It's a dream come true. We're going to Fedway. Cool. And they were playing against Tasty Burger.
Ooh.
I've never had Tasty Burger. I've never had Wahlburgers, so I don't
No,
feel like I'm missing out.
I've never been to Boston, so there you go.
I've been to the outskirts. I've been to Brookline, Massachusetts. I think it's Brookline. Yeah, that's fine.
Nice.
Yep.
It is what it is.
It is
So
what
why
it
are
is.
we here, Ray?
just not to
Why
chat
are we here?
and for everyone to see our beautiful faces. Not just that.
Not this
Gorgeous.
one.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. We are here to talk about a little movie that we got a screener for that comes out tomorrow, November 4th.
Yeah. We got a
Um,
screener, guys.
I know.
What the
Moving
fuck?
on up.
No.
On up. And we, it's called A Girl at the Window by it's directed by Mark Hartley. It's a light exploitation film, and he will tell you it's not as I don't because I actually got to sit down with him and talk with him, and we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
which is super amazing, and I'm so jealous and sorry that I couldn't make it. But jobs.
right, and luckily enough, I could take because it was 25 minutes. I could jump out of something and go and do it, and we did it. And he's very pleasant, nice. I was able to cram in some of his other movies, and just he's pretty, yeah, I mean, this is his second feature. I mean, not feature, his second narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, he makes documentaries. In fact, there's one on his list that I was like, we really should look at. It's like Machete Maidens or something like that. It's a doc, I think, about Slasher Girl. And we're like, we might want to look into that at some point.
Yeah.
See if we can find it. Yeah, so totally. So do you have any running time on this? Is that your thing?
It was an hour and 24 minutes, if I recall correctly.
Twas. Probably the most well-known person in this movie is Rhoda Mitchell. We had another movie with Rhoda Mitchell in it. Yeah, The Crazies.
The Crazies, yeah.
Yeah. And Silent Hill, and she's good at that desperation flicks sort of stuff. She's good here. Mind you guys, they filmed this during shutdown, not just COVID, during lockdown. And where he was at in I think he said in Brisbane was completely locked down, the worst lockdown, shutdown of all of Australia. It was the most lockdown. So he's he would get a call from his costume director and be and was like, hey, I can't go get clothes today
anywhere.
So I noticed that some of the characters were wearing the same clothes over and over again. I'm like, what the hell's up with that? My first thought was, can't somebody get some clothes for this kid?
Good thing the lead girl goes to a school where they have to wear a uniform.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same costume, sweet.
Yeah. So because this has got a major twist and it is kind of off the wall, we are
Yeah.
not going to spoil it. We're going to give you just a general summary and then we're going to give our feedback. All right. So we've got Amy. Amy is I want to say, well, she's supposed to be 16, right? Or she learned
I
how to
would
drive yet?
say,
Yeah.
I don't know if her age is actually established, but I would say 16
Yeah. Now
at least.
her friend's name is Leanne, right?
Leanne, yeah.
I could not
Calls her
for the life
Lily.
of me. Yeah, I was like Megan. I don't know. I couldn't. I was hard. I wrote Megan for a bunch of times. I also have a hard time with accents, and I couldn't do closed captioning, so I was like shit out of luck. Bad hearing. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, not their fault.
No, and we learned very quickly on that Amy's father had passed away recently. Like we're talking recent. It sounded like in the last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Through a really horrible freak accident involving him falling down a mine shaft while they were out and about. She was helpless. She couldn't save him.
No.
And so you know, it's a horrible death, you know, shocking, unexpected. She, you know, feels all this guilt. So, you know, her mom is already kind of like very sensitive about that with her. And, you know, throughout the movie, when things start happening, she kind of thinks it's linked to that she's just having nightmares and she's still going through the grief process and having, you know, visions or whatever. And it's like, you know, trying her best, doing what a mom does.
Right. Like
while grieving herself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so they end up they end up, did they move into the house or they have
they moved into the house?
Right. So they moved in this, and next door is like a cute little cabin.
Yeah.
And this Joe Manganiello looking guy, he looks a little bit like Joe Manganiello, a little bit.
A little aged.
Yes. Yeah.
Joe, yeah.
I was
he
feeling
was cute.
I was feeling the vibes.
Yeah.
He comes off creepy to Amy. And one night she sees him leave the house very, very like 3 o'clock in the morning without his lights on. His like he's got like not a Range Rover, but something like that, like a big SUV.
It's a van.
Oh, that's right. It's a van.
Like industrial van.
It's been a week since I watched this.
I just finished it, so that's why
I know. So that kind of starts the mystery, and then there's a girl missing at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's a girl missing.
And there has also been in the news, and our lead girl Amy kind of has a strange fascination with this serial killer that's come up in local news called the Clockwork Killer.
Yeah.
And she's been watching a lot of news behind it, and now there's someone new missing. They think, you know, it's like they only have a few days before a body turns up to find this guy. So she's, you know, it's in the news.
Yeah. Like it's fresh in her mind, and she's like we are here because it does take place in Australia. So but it is like kind of the culture here where everyone's kind of obsessed with true crime. Same there.
Yeah.
And so she's she's keeping tabs, like keeping like a, you know, pretty thick notebook on the comings and goings of her neighbor.
Yeah, because she thinks it's just really strange. So she has this journal that she used to journal in about birds. She and her father used to go bird watching, and she goes to the end of the journal and starts writing notes about like what times she sees the van leave, when it comes back, well, you know, the fact that the lights are off and why is that, and she's kind of hyper aware and paying attention. And her friend Leanne just thinks she's, you know, just being nutty, and is like, oh, you stalker, whatever. And like her friend's kind of flighty, and like, but they have a very close relationship, so she's not, you know, a piece of shit or anything.
No. In fact, she comes out and like at one point she's literally locked in her bedroom, and she makes Leanne come out and like go twice come out and do like reconnaissance with her. So like
and she does it, you know, because she's like, this is what friends do, I guess. It's So do you want to
Yeah, I think that's enough. I think you guys know I mean, it's we don't want to give again too much away, but that's
there's a
pretty much
serial killer on the loose. She suspects her neighbor.
yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and also mom is dating next door neighbor.
Yeah, because mom's gotta get some.
Yeah. Girls
But
gotta
I
eat.
liked that relation. I mean, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So, well, the way we're gonna break this down is things that we liked, things we might not have liked, and then we're gonna end on something that like one, last like
End on a positive.
Yeah, we're gonna give another like one last thing that we did like just to end on a high note. So, Ween, what worked for you in this movie?
Honestly, one of the things that I thought was really actually surprisingly really good were the special effects. I thought they were really good. There was like the makeup and stuff like that, like the gore.
Right.
There wasn't too much of it, but what there was, like, it was effective. And I don't know what kind of budget they would have had. It didn't seem like a whole lot, but because this was basically like an independent film, yes.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
Pretty much, like,
yeah.
and they did a lot with what they had, and so I thought that was really interesting, and looked really good, and it kept moving. Like the pacing did well.
Yeah, agreed. Same on that line. I thought the writing was decent. I mean, I thought more than decent. I thought it was good. I mean, I thought that like the setup to the twist and what happens and whether or not like you kind of are in limbo, not knowing if it is real or if it's not, and if she is hallucinating or whatever. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like the dialogue with among the friends. You could tell there was some that was paid attention to, because it was like any other friends that talk to each other. They, unlike some movies we've seen in the past, they weren't calling each other names. They weren't like, sassy with each other, but they were friends, and they had a really good relationship. And you could tell, I felt like they had been friends for a very long time. And another thing I liked was that when the mom was dating the neighbor, I liked how they treated that relationship. That the mom was still she wasn't like ready to get it on. She just like, I'm trying this out.
Yeah.
Feeling it out. And they were, she was like tiptoeing into it.
Yeah.
And there was even a point where, because her daughter was like so obsessed with suspecting the neighbor of, nefarious whatever, the mom even said, I'll stop seeing him if you want me to.
Right.
Like, because it's such an early stage in their grief over losing their father/husband. I thought that was treated really well.
Agreed. The other thing that I really, really liked about it too was that it hit on certain movies. Like it had, like I could pick out pieces and parts. Like, so I immediately thought Hitchcock, obviously, Rear Window.
Yeah.
And then the other big one, because of the mom, the relationship like with the mom and the daughter and the next door neighbor, I immediately thought of Fright Night.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a mesh between the two. I dug that.
Acting wise, I thought I give it to these actors, because I think I as you'll hear in the interview, they met the day before they started shooting. So the mother and
that's
daughter.
Crazy to me. Like I thought the mom and daughter had really good chemistry. I thought the girl playing Amy, hold on, I have it, Ella Newton. I thought she did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
She could carry the movie. She carried it well.
She did.
And that's not easy. And this is like her fourth or fifth film.
Yeah.
Like, she did really well.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
I just think it's really interesting that these two, like during lockdown, during COVID, you don't know exactly how you're trying to build like a character while at the same time worrying about like, your mental and physical health at the same
Yeah.
time, like literally you as not your character but you as a human
Yeah.
are worrying about those around you. And so it's kind of hard to block that all out and then also try to play a character where the pandemic's not happening and I've got to build this character,
Yeah.
from
But you
scratch
still
pretty
have,
much.
and you
Yeah.
still have to maintain safety and,
Right, right,
and
right,
all that. That
right.
couldn't have been easy.
So the other thing that Mark brings up, sorry, I keep stepping on you, go for
No,
it.
no, no, no. Go ahead.
so,
I was
so
done.
the other thing that Mark brought up is because of COVID and filming is that like the filming itself, like the actual like for the close-up shots, they had to use pretty much like a robot, like a because
Oh,
they couldn't get
wow.
yeah, they couldn't get next to each other, so they had to use, I forgot what he said. It's in my interview, but yeah, they
Oh
had
my
to have,
gosh.
yeah, to like go in and get the shots that they needed because you couldn't be in this 5 feet from another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's pretty, I mean, you could have fooled me. Like I
Right.
didn't notice that. I didn't notice anything like that at all.
Yeah.
I thought the cinematography was great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially in consideration. My gosh.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something we didn't care for as much.
Okay.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
Uh, the you go.
Okay. I needed a little bit more blood and gore. I needed a little bit more just because also when I went into my interview with Mark, I was thinking it was more exploitation than like, and he will be the one who says it's really, he wasn't going for exploitation on this one, but
No.
you see the hallmarks of it. So I think in my mind I had that like lockjaw, like this is supposed to be exploitation, so I need to see more boobs, I need to see more blood, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
was
there
kind of,
wasn't a whole lot of, I mean, all things considered, there wasn't a whole lot of gore.
no.
Like I said, what there was, the makeup was done really beautifully. Like there's
Yeah.
the hallmark of the Clockwork Killer is that they remove an eye from
Mm-hmm.
their victim. So they have like that and the makeup done there and then having the actual eye. Oh, that was cool. That
Yeah.
was good. There was a part that I didn't quite care. I wish they could have reshot it. I thought it was written okay, but I think I would have redone it. There's a part where she's kind of thinking to herself, and there's like she does like this Gollum thing where like one camera pans and she's got her mouth shut and thinking this thought, almost like arguing with herself when she's trying to figure out what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. And then the next shot is facing her and she's talking out loud, thinking out loud. And
Mm-hmm.
then they go back and forth and back and forth. I hmm,
It
I
didn't
think
work
there
for
was
you.
a different, yeah, I think there's a different way you could have done that, but it did show that but it did kind of show her like she's trying to figure out
Yeah,
what's
makes
happening.
sense of everything. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the actual dialogue of it though is like dialogue you would have with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
like asking like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why would this then happen? Well, because of this. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like she's calling
Yeah.
answering herself.
Yeah.
I just would have shot that differently.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, you're good. No, I mean, I think the other thing that kind of I probably would have changed a little bit is, just maybe something, a little bit more uh, evidence with, see, now I want to say what I'm trying to say because I don't want to say any.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
This comes out tomorrow.
I know, I know.
Or by the time this is posted, it's probably
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
the same day.
Yeah, so I guess I wish there was a little bit more evidence to put in what was the neighbor's name?
Chris.
Chris. Chris is put him in the like suspect camp, which is a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially when, yep, okay.
I know we can't say too much. But then the I'll tell you something I didn't like. Some of these IMDb reviews, fuck you.
Oh my gosh, some of them are
Jesus
just
Christ.
yeah, like calm your tits, people. Like,
Jeez. There
yeah,
are three as of now,
did Mark come to your house personally and like kill your dog or something? Jesus, he's he's a perfectly pleasant man. Leave him alone.
Jeez. There are three reviews on IMDb right now of this movie. Just judge, I would just say judge for yourself, okay?
Right.
Like it's not nearly as bad as these people are making it out to be, and I think that's a bunch of crap. I think sometimes people just say what they want to say to get hype or whatever.
Yeah, haven't seen it and they just don't like the trailer. Maybe it was maybe the trailer was cut funny for them or something, who knows.
Yeah. Like it Yeah, like a lot of the same complaints though is that it's amateurish. Well, it kind like again, this is what his second feature film?
No, it's his second narrative film.
Narrative film.
Yeah.
Oh, because he did docs before.
Yeah. So what he was going for was this, like, he doesn't like he doesn't want to do the digital filming, so he doesn't want the gloss and the polish that the studio is going to put on it, like, so he wanted something more like realistic. And then you get that feeling, you get like you're there, like you feel like you are with the people that you're in the scene, like you feel like you're in the scene with these people. That's just how it's shot. To me, I like that. I like, because then you start getting that amped up feeling.
It's more immersive.
Yeah, and you get the tension more than like I'm sitting in there watching Jason stalking a bunch of co-eds. Like, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting as immersed in that as I am this.
Yeah.
So that's what he was going for, dildos. Jesus.
I think people were a bit harsh.
Yeah.
I thought it was a decent flick. I thought it was a good movie. I'd watch it again.
The last thing I want to say, so I'm going to end on a high note on my end, is I love Ausploitation. I love it. I think I have come to, after watching his doc about Ausploitation, I fucking love it. I mean,
I want to watch that. I need to watch that.
It's on YouTube. Both that and the Canon one are on YouTube. I can't think of the name of Canon, right? The Canon film right now. But yeah, they're both really good. And I mean, I know a lot of the Canon stuff, so, but I mean,
Electric Boogaloo, the wild untold story of Canon films.
Mm-hmm. But there was definitely some flicks that I got from the Ausploitation film that I'm like, all right, Doc, that I'm like, I think we're gonna do these. Yeah, it's kind of refreshing that in this, they went there when in the night, in mainstream, and it was mainstream, like not mainstream, but pretty mainstream for them. I mean, more than here. Like this exploitation films were not like being played in giant theaters in the 70s here,
right?
But we glommed on to exploitation films. Like Tarantino is
for sure.
Yeah, is in this doc, pretty much like saying, this is why I do movies now. So yeah, if there's something that comes from it, is like my like realization, my like coming of age for the exploitation. I'm excited to learn more about it and start to go through it. I've seen some, and we did, Contagion, but I've seen like Wolf Creek and things like that, which are more newer. But I kind of want to get into the 70s stuff. So it looks kind of amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm skimming through some reviews of one of his other movies that I actually want to see, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really want to see this.
And that is that is the exploitation film. Yeah. Well, and his producer on that and on this is Anthony. I wrote his down. Anthony Janine, I think his name. Janine. Yeah. And he is what they call the Roger Corman of Ozploitation films.
Yeah,
Like
Anthony Janane.
Yeah, he's a producer here on both these movies, and somebody in the Ozploitation film even said like, "Oh, Anthony, he's just a sleaze." But he was super smart at what he did. So like, to see these two teamed up here is yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Ooh, there's another Ozploitation film, Machete Maidens Unleashed.
That's the one I was saying. Yeah, that's the one. It's a doc. Yeah, that's why I said we should look into that.
Hell yeah, I'd watch that.
So we're giving it 2 thumbs up. Go, again, yeah, like this is one I would say I'd watch it again. I'd watch it
again. I would.
And I've recommended it now to people who I
was entertained. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I recommended it to Veronica because I said, it's not gory, so I think it's gory but not. And as Mark said, it is a perfect like entry into horror. It's a gateway. It's a nice gateway movie
for Veronica. It's a nice yeah.
yeah.
Can't handle some of the shit we do.
No, there's certain movies we know.
Her,
there's some movies we know that we're not going to ask her to guest for.
No.
So yeah, 2 thumbs up. Coolio.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me tonight.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out, and thank you, Mark Hartley, for letting us / Ray interview you.
Yeah, and sitting down with me and letting me at one point misquote you. Cool.
It wasn't your fault.
I didn't misquote them, but someone else did. I just brought it to his attention,
which
I'm sure he's going to go type in now his name and anti-materialism and find that quote, and I hope he bitches somebody out. Yeah.
You made him aware.
I did. Or he could be like, I am on a red-eyed in Melbourne. I don't give a fuck. Like that's probably where he's at.
Yeah.
Coolio. We'll be up next. Our next episode will be on McPherson Tapes and The Visit, and that will be on the I can't remember.
Days.
15th?
Yeah.
So Coolio. Until then,
how do we end this thing, Ray?
These ones are different. I don't know. How do we end this thing? Because
I don't know. We can still do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Maniacal laugh.
Keep it spooky, bitches.
Yes.